Hi everyone, it's BDevine and welcome to Divine Miracles, and thank you so much for being a subscriber or sharing my videos, etc., and just being here in general. And I hope that you will enjoy the message today. I'm talking a little bit about spiritual checklists. Now, the reason that I came up with this was because there were so many people that come for counseling and readings and hypnotherapy and different sessions and healing with me. And there's a whole lot of people that are going through a terrible time at the moment, like a time of complete trigger points and change and frustration and money issues or whatever it is. So there's a lot of things that are going on. So I wanted to just share this little checklist with you guys, because sometimes we forget, okay? We forget to pull ourselves back into, our own inner being. Whether it's because of society or work or family or whatever, we kind of get ourselves lost out there and then, forget what we are trying to achieve here, okay? Some people only open up their spirituality on the weekends. During the week they pretend that they're not spiritual at all. But you can do things on your own at home, and you can do things that is going to help you throughout your day, okay? So for me, for example, spirituality is my life. Like everything that I do revolves around how I feel, about myself and, the spirit world and everything like that. I'm always trying to stay in tune, opening up to new opportunities and, clearing myself of energies as well. Because the more that you open up spiritually, the more things are going to get to you because of your sensitivity levels being open, okay? So here's some things that you can do to help you focus as you're going about your day, or if you're having a really bad day, or if everything is piling in on top of you, okay? So the first thing is surround yourself. So when you start feeling overwhelmed, if you haven't woken up in the morning and asked your guides and angels to walk with you, take a minute, pull yourself away and say, okay, I'm calling in all my angels, guides, loved ones, ancestors, spiritual team. I'm asking you to move forward, surround me and support me right now, as I go about my day. Help me to be open to opportunities and all of that kind of thing. So you're bringing protection around yourself. And you're also asking that you're clearing away any energy that's not yours, or any energy that's negative that you might have inadvertently picked up somewhere. And you're just doing this with complete, faith that it's taken care of. So a lot of people go into it, they ask for support and protection, and then they're like, but has it really happened? Is it really taking place? So as soon as you've asked for something, remember that it's done, okay? And if you want to attach yourself back to a problem, then it's going to keep on recurring and repeating. When you're going through things, when you're going through emotions and trigger points, okay, don't immediately think that everything's going wrong, okay, and there's no spiritual realm out there helping you, and, why are you going through all this kind of stuff? Say, okay, I'm going through something at the moment. Like when you get yourself into a huge huff or, in a big bad mood or something, it's really hard to say, well, what is this teaching me? And I know that, I know when you're in the heat of the moment, it's really, really difficult to actually see anything good in anything or pull yourself back. But when you get that chance, like after you've allowed everything to explode out of you or whatever, get that chance, pull yourself back in and say, okay, what am I really learning here? What am I really experiencing? What is this continually coming up in my life for? How am I reacting to the situation? Because if we always react in the same way to situations, then we keep on repeating the same thing all the time until we figure it out, So what are you learning from these trigger points? What is it trying to teach you? How are you reacting? So you can pull yourself out of it and, have a look and examine it. Sometimes there's just a whole lot of stress that, accumulates. And sometimes what I've noticed is that, say something traumatic happened, like say 2 weeks ago, and you think that it's over, okay, and you were really tough at the time because you had so many other things that you had to take care of, that you weren't dealing with the stress, you were just moving forward, coping, etc. So what happens is that when you finally relax, all of a sudden that whole tumultuous problem or stress or whatever then it hits you physically. And it's like you feel like you've been run over by a truck, or things are flying out of you like, you don't even know where it's coming from, etc. Okay? So it takes a couple of weeks sometimes for the stress of some sort of situation to finally hit you how bad it really was. And then you need to bring in, okay, I need the comfort, I need the comfort and security and the love and the self-love, of course, which you may not have balanced in your life right now. So you call in the love and the unconditional love of the universe to support and guide you and help you to understand the situation. So be aware for that kind of thing as well, where you were strong and you were holding it together, and then you get yourself out of a situation, and then suddenly you feel like you've been run over by a truck or something like that starts happening. Okay, and with this, it could be really old feelings and emotions and fears that come to the surface like all at once, and it's like you're a completely different person when this is going on. So after you've allowed yourself to initially feel something here, because we have to feel something in order to understand it, then pull yourself back in and surround yourself with love. The best thing that you can do whenever you're feeling like everything's your fault, or you're to blame for a situation, or you're under nervous stress and it's affecting your fatigue levels and everything, you can't tune in or anything like that, is to still ask for the unconditional love of the divine to surround you and the situation and help you to understand it. And even if you have to call that in all the time, like constantly, maybe over a period of a few days, all of a sudden it will wear itself away. So the first thing that people do whenever they're feeling completely stressed is to blame themselves. Blame themselves for the situation, or look back on things in the past and start blaming themselves for that, and then it's all their fault, and it's all their fault, all their fault. Instead of realizing that sometimes the way that people treat us is they're just projecting their own fears upon us, and they're projecting their own anger and their own stress and their own stuff. But because we're so sensitive, we take it as our fault, our problem. Okay, so surrounding yourself with this loving situation. When you're going through bouts of stress, of course, it might bring up things that need to be healed on an inner level. So sometimes when we've had a deep healing, we go through a really, really rough time. Like, for example, when, I was feeling, for example, with my arm, I don't know if you guys remember or whatever, or maybe you're just tuning in now, but I had a tattoo cover-up done on my arm in Australia, just a normal thing. I've had tattoos before, never been allergic to anything. And I had this thing, a beautiful, Japanese sort of like peonies all over my arm, celebrating rebirth and love and all this new life, etc. So I had this tattoo done, and all of a sudden, like, I had the worst allergic reaction to the ink, I'm guessing. And then from the allergic reaction, an infection started, and the infection got so bad, antibiotics wasn't working. And I mean, I haven't used antibiotics for like 20 years or something before this stage, so antibiotics was not working, and in fact I had an allergic reaction to the antibiotics, right, to the penicillin. So they couldn't get it under control. Meanwhile, my arm was getting worse and worse and worse, and to the point where it was like they were going to cut it all, away. And it was like dealing with all these things, and I'm like, this has just happened out of nowhere, right? I couldn't even connect with my angels, guides, or anything other than just keep on asking them to be there, but I didn't feel like I was, in tune at all. It was just, this was happening and I was in this black hole kind of situation. Anyway, finally everything started to repair, and I was on some kind of medication that I wasn't reacting to as badly, but still reacting to, and it started to repair. And in the repair stage of what was going on, I started to have my visions and things started to come back, like, what was this all about? And the infection was underlying anger. And I thought to myself, I'm not even an angry person, like, what the hell does this come from? But it reverted back to a long, long time ago, family issues, and, because it's on the right side of my body, father issues, masculine side of issues, men issues, etc. And there was so much deep-seated anger inside I didn't even realize that I had, that when I had this thing happen on my arm where I was getting this tattoo, that was the place for it to all just start to come out. So when you have a deep healing sometimes, you know, it comes out of you worse than it was before. And immediately people think, well, the healing didn't work, here I am worse. And it's like, no, you know, on a shamanic level or on a deeper healing level, you know, when you get a healing and then suddenly you have something come out of you, whether it's a big, huge infection or a chest cold or, you know, I don't know, like a tumor or a growth or something like this comes to the surface. It's like it was sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. And, you know, the healing allowed it to come out so that you could finally deal with it and get rid of it forever. And imagine like having, you know, all this anger, and what anger does to you is it affects your liver, etc. You don't even realize that you've had anger, because when something's happened that's made you upset or made you angry, you've practiced, you know, pushing it away. Or, okay, I'm not going to deal with that, I'm going to focus on this. So in my instance, the more that I just pushed away anger and my own feelings, and it needed to completely come out for a different life for myself, you know, and I was beginning a new life, etc. You know, coming over to America, starting a whole new life. So anything that was there from the past, you know, unbeknownst to me, you didn't even realize I had so much anger inside of me, had to come up and out for a complete healing, you know, for a complete different experience, you know. So when something's happening to you, don't think that you're not being healed in that moment. Say to yourself, okay, this needs to come forward. There's something that I've been not addressing in my life, and it needs to come up and out, and I'm rid of it forever, okay? So when you're going through healing, don't start going downward spiral like nothing happens to you and you never get well. And okay, if it's coming out, let it come out. Deal with the emotions that come with it. You know, deal with, you know, the pain is showing you something as well. You know, where you're punishing yourself, because it's known that, you know, pain seeks punishment. Like, so if you're feeling bad about something, your body will go through pain in order for you to say, okay, I don't need to go through physical pain in order to understand myself or address my emotions or stop feeling responsible for everybody and, you know, start living my life kind of thing, you know. We're only ever responsible for ourselves. The most things that people deal with is back problems, and different sections of your back hold different emotions in them, but they're usually related to a responsibility towards someone else, a responsibility to money, responsibility to make everybody happy, a responsibility for, you know, success or whatever it is, you know, and it's held in the spine, skeletal system, everything is keeping you moving forward, you know. So if you have problem with your hips or your spine or your neck, etc., or your knees or your feet, you know, you have a fear of moving forward for some reason, and you may justify that by saying, well, I have to do all of this first before I can do this. So again, you know, with your spirituality, check that you're, you know, make this checklist and say to yourself, okay, I'm going through some physical pain at the moment. Why is my body in pain? Why is it trying to tell me? What emotion is behind this? You know, who or what is causing this? And why am I allowing this? And then, you know, bring in that healing energy to help you lift it away from you and transform it into a positive energy. Okay? So when you're going about your life and you're doing things in your life, there's so many little things that can help you on the way. So, you know, even as simple as going to the shopping centre. You know, you may be going to the shopping centre and you're anticipating a lot of people being there, and this is going to really wear me out, and I'm going to go to the shop, I'm going to be exhausted, I'm not going to have time to do anything. You sort of set yourself up for a snowball, you know, effect of bad luck going on, and when it starts happening, you're like, you see, that's just how my day is. Instead of saying, okay, this is going to be simple, and I'm asking the guides and angels to walk with me, and the people that I meet are going to be really lovely, and you know, I'm going to be able to navigate my way through easily, and I'm still going to have a lot of time when I get home, and I'm not going to feel exhausted. Setting it up in the way that you want it to be, you know. Always programming in what you want in your life, not what you don't want, kind of thing. So there's these little things that you can put in place, to help you. Some people try to understand other people, especially when it comes to a bad relationship. When something's finished, a relationship is over, and the most part I find is women coming to me with these situations. I'm not saying it's always women, okay? But I do find that some women always go, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong in this situation? This person has just gone and this has happened. Where have I gone wrong? And maybe I should have done this, and maybe I should have looked like that, and maybe if I had this kind of body, then that would be fine. No. If someone's not going to be in a relationship, they're just not going to be there. They're just going to go for their own reasons. And they may project reasons upon you, but really it's their own decision, and off they go and do their thing, etc. So there's a blame game that goes on, okay, within yourself. And there's comparison to other people and all of that kind of stuff. And what I've learned the most with my spirituality is that we are unique, and what we're doing is unique. So how you learn something, or how you go about your daily life, or how you choose to do your healing, or choose to do readings for someone or something, for example, or just live your life, is unique to you, okay? There is nobody like you. So there's no point comparing yourself to anybody else, And when we do that, it's because we see there's something wrong about ourselves somewhere that we need to change. And in reality, there's nothing to change. There's only things to enhance about ourselves. Maybe we need to let go of negativity or negative thinking, but it's all about enhancing, like getting better, right? And better and better and better for ourselves. Not getting better to please somebody else, or getting better to change some sort of situation, but for ourselves. So if you find yourself always, I can't do this because someone else is better than I am, or I don't want to start a YouTube because I'm not as good as someone else, or I don't want to do readings because I might be wrong, or I don't want to help someone heal because what if I get it wrong and they get worse? That's all comparison issues and all self-doubt, So again, you need to bring in the love for yourself. So some people say to me, how do you do it? Like, how do you just pull yourself out of everything? How do you keep on going? How do you, start your business? Or how did you get going with it, or whatever, And the first thing that I did was stop caring at all about what anybody thinks of me. Because I knew that no matter how awesome a person is, or how great you are, or what your intentions are, there's always going to be someone out there who doesn't like it. You can't fix that. So you just got to do it anyway, right? With faith and trust in your intention of helping someone. So my intention always has been, I know I can help people. I know I can, because I've experienced so many things. So when someone comes to me with something, I can pull something out, oh, yep, here's a memory that I've had. Here's how I dealt with it, kind of thing. And you can do it too, and you can get past it. And that's my sort of motto in life, kind of thing. It's whatever it is that I've experienced, I don't sit there feeling sorry for myself. I'm using it as tools. I'm using it as you know what? When that thing happened to me, this is how I got out of it. Maybe not straight away. Maybe I sat and felt sorry for myself for a while, but I made my way out of it. And this is how you do it. Keeping everything simple. Okay? So that's another message from, your spiritual checklist. Are you keeping everything simple? Or are you creating a huge, big thing for yourself? An overwhelming thing. Oh, well, if I start doing this, then I'm going to have to do this, and I'm going to have to market, and I'm going to have to do this, and this, and this, and this. Oh, well, it's going to take too long. I'm just not going to do it, So you sort of want to do it, but you see the forecast as being huge and so much to do that you just go, well, that's too hard. I'm just going to toss that aside. Instead of just starting on it a little bit at a time, changing your attitude and saying, well, angels, universe, if this is the direction that's going to bring me the most happiness, then create an easy way for me to do it. Bang, you've just done it. You've just created an easy way of creating something for yourself, and I know people say, well, it's not that easy. I know that, but by having that thought in your mind, you're not dealing with details. Okay, you're just dealing with, okay, I've already asked, it's done. And I know that trust, again, here we go, trust is a huge thing for people to get. You know, it's a huge thing for your abilities. It's a huge thing for your focus in life. It's a huge thing when working with other people, is like how you're going to trust them, etc. You know, so you just focus on yourself, you know, and you focus on your own, building your own trust in everything, and, you know, saying things like, okay, I'm going to trust that this situation is going to work out exactly how it's supposed to, or better than I think it will, or if I don't get this, I'm going to get something better. And you start seeing how you are rewarded for doing that, you know. And it is a difficult thing. And if you have a lot of trust issues and you have a lot of things that, or painful things that keep on coming up, or you have things that you're just all of a sudden having symptoms of phobias or something like that, this could also be connected to a past life tie, you know, which is focusing in on your life now, you know, in your life now. So you can always have a clearing from that as well, you know. Talk with someone about your innermost feelings and get them up and out of the surface. And usually 9 out of 10 people that start talking to me, they start talking to me and they're like crying, and they're like, I don't know why I'm crying. And it's like, well, obviously you needed to release something. This is a release. You've hit the release button. You know, you're talking to someone about things that maybe you can't talk to anybody else about, and you start having a release, you know. And I didn't really have anyone to talk to about anything of these deeper things, like within myself, right? So I used to just pretend that I was talking to an angel, and that's how I started being friends with him, kind of thing. You know, I started pretending that Archangel Michael was standing in front of me, and you know, I imagined what he looked like, etc. And then I'd say, you know what, I'm telling you this, and this is going on with me, and I'm really sick of this, and I'm really hurting over here, and I wish my family were closer, and I've been rejected, and just like all the, you know, problems and things that I couldn't express any other way. And the more that I imagined like Archangel Michael being there, and the more I just rattled on and rattled on, like the more I got a feeling of it, he was actually there. And I said to him, you know, give me a sign when you're around. And I instantly just felt warmth. And from there, things started to really change. And I'm like, okay, so I just imagine what I want, you know, and I imagine, you know, who's there. Like I imagine myself talking to someone, or I imagine what the angel looks like, and it becomes real. Oh my God, this is what your third eye is doing, you know. You use your imagination and you start seeing things that you didn't imagine. And more so, you start feeling things that you didn't imagine, right? Start happening to you. Like you can't imagine a feeling and it starts, you know, a feeling is a feeling, right? You feel it in your whole being, okay? And so that's how my connection with the angels started to really open, is because I didn't have anybody to just talk to, because I never wanted to bother anybody, or I was always too prideful, like, no, I can handle anything, like I'm super tough, you know. Inside of myself I'm just like dying inside, you know, wanting to talk to someone and I didn't want anyone to think I was nuts, or, you know, when you have a feeling about something and it keeps on recurring, you don't want people thinking you're nutty, you know, if they don't have a spiritual bone in their body kind of thing, you know what I mean? So the things that I was experiencing, I just used to talk to Archangel Michael about, and Archangel Uriel as well, like as a psychologist, kind of an angel, like, hey, I'm experiencing this, and he would answer back with things. And that, again, I was like, wow, you know, all I had to do was actually open my mouth and expect to have a conversation here. So your expectations are everything. Your imagination is everything. It's the key, you know, the key that unlocks the door to everything. You know, your focus, your intention. Using your imagination is just like imagining where the front door is. You know where it is in your mind. So you can create things in your mind like this, you know, to have vision and to open up your third eye, you know, and to release fears, etc. So with your spiritual little checklist, okay, so the idea of this video was, when this is going on, check that this is happening. You know, are you doing this? Are you pulling in the love of the divine? Are you bathing yourself in it? Are you using your crystals? Are you taking time to just lie down, hold a crystal, and just feel, you know, the intention of the universe to help you? You know, feel the energy of the crystal working through you. You know, are you pulling yourself in? Are you grounding yourself? You know, if your energy is all over the place, you're not going to feel very good. You're going to feel scattered. You're going to feel cranky. You're going to feel like you can't function. You're going to be clumsy, all this kind of stuff. Pulling all your energy back in to yourself. Have you done a healing with somebody? Have you detached yourself from that person straight away? Have you cleared the cords from that energy exchange? As soon as you're talking with someone, there's an energy exchange. There's cording that happens, okay? So you have to shut it all down. Shut yourself all down. Boom. That's a separate situation. This is my situation. A lot of healers, they just absorb everybody else's stuff, and they don't know whether it's their stuff or someone else's stuff. They don't know whether they're coming or going sometimes, and they're all symptomatic, etc. You haven't shut yourself down properly. You know, you haven't closed that connection, kind of thing, right? So you work on grounding yourself. You work on getting yourself together. You know, when you start feeling all like, everything's going wrong, come on, get yourself together now. Have a good talk with yourself. Stop it, kind of thing. You know, you're out of control. You know, if that's what's happening to you, you know, if you're doing this, okay, so what I mean by out of control is if you're saying, you know, I've got this, and what do you think about this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and then there's this, and then, but it could be this, and then this person, and this person, and this person, and so then I'm dealing with this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and I've got questions about this, and then, okay, so if I don't go in that direction, okay, what will happen over here, and here, and here, and here, but if I do go in that direction, where am I going to go from here, 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 here? Okay, that is a person that's really scattered. Okay, that is a person, I mean, I've had people come with hundreds of questions for a reading, and it's like, oh my God, you know, where are you? Because you're definitely not centered in. You know, you're worrying about this and this and this, and then what the person's reaction is going to be. And it's like, why are you doing that to yourself? You know, it's just, whoa, you know, pull yourself in. And I get it. Like some people, their whole life has been like nervousness. You know, nervous energy, like I've got to do this right, and if I don't do this right, I'm going to be in trouble, and then, you know, so I need to know for sure if I go in this direction, for sure, is it going to be the right thing? Is it going to bring me money? Is it going to bring me love? Is it going to bring me direction? Because I need to go somewhere. I know I need to go somewhere, so I want to be sure before I go, you know. Whew, that's a lot of pressure on yourself, you know, that's a lot. So that's when you're all scattered. All your energy is all over the place when that's going on with you. Okay, so you've got to stop for a second, not in front of anybody if you don't want to, and just say, okay, I'm just going to call all my energy back to me. I'm asking for the angels and the guides to just pull all the pieces of me as a soul back to me, grounded inside my body, and create something so that if I start taking off somewhere and going places and healing and all the things that I'm doing, that I've got some kind of special rope or magnet in place that's always going to bring those pieces back to me. Okay, because we must be within. We must be within ourselves. You know, we must be grounded if you want to be confident, strong, focused, determined. You know, nothing's getting you. There's no nervousness, there's no worry, there's no stress, there's no concern, because if you're inside yourself and you're grounded in, you know, none of those things are actually even going to be on your mind, right? So you have to make sure that you're not scattering your energy like absolutely everywhere when you're doing things, when you're going about your life, when you're learning, when you're growing, when you're shaping, when you're changing. Pull yourself back in, okay? It's a real vital thing. So people forget this, and they just, you know, go through a grumpy day or something and just like, they're not even doing anything to do it until someone says, hey, are you grounded? Do you need to do a meditation? Do you want crystals or something? And pull yourself back in, right? So what gets to a point is that you don't need, a crystal to ground you in. You're just doing it. You're taking yourself, if you're at work and you're feeling like all over the place, you go, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm just going to sit on the toilet. and I'm just going to call everybody in. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you've got no choice sometimes. You got to do it, right? I do it when, say, I'm somewhere really, really busy and I start getting like all overwhelmed, even though nobody would know it. I can feel it inside of myself. I'm like, right, okay, you're doing that thing, Becky. No, you're not doing this. You're not getting yourself all freaking worked up. Go and get yourself sorted out. So I do, and I come back and I done it. I'm fine. I'm back, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So go about your day. Have a look about your day. Like, think to yourself, what did I do yesterday? Okay, so yesterday I went through and I was having a really good day and all of this was going on. Why? Because I was in spirit. I was in that energy of divine love. I wasn't letting anyone bother me. I wasn't letting pettiness bother me and all that. So if I did it yesterday, I can do it today. If yesterday was a really bad day, then you can look back on it and go, you know what? I really could have pulled myself in there. I could have made sure my energy was together. I could have called in my angels. I could have had a meditation. I could have done 5 minutes meditation or something like that. Okay? So your journey is your own, all right? And the way in which you experience the things that you're interested in, whether it's UFOs or Sasquatch or angels or whatever it is that you're interested in, it doesn't matter. It's unique to yourself. But, you've got to be using the tools in order to have a better life, in order to move forward, with freedom in your life, in order to have the answers that you need, in order to be in tune all the time, in order to live your life and all your dreams and all your goals coming true and manifesting money and, oh my God, this is in my bank account and this is happening and I'm making more money than I can't even imagine. And yes, it's more work, but there's more money. And, if you want to go in the flow like that of an exciting life, where your life is like, okay, there's going to be something awesome is going to happen today, or I'm going on this awesome trip and I'm going to find something there and I'm going to walk and hike, or I'm going to do this or whatever. If you want your life to be like that, then mentally you've got to get yourself there, okay? If you want your life to be like, I have to work for these people, it's paying the rent and what can I do? I'm in this situation, I might as well just stay here. I really hate my partner, but I might as well just stay here because of this or because of that or whatever. My life sucks, and I'll just wait till I retire before I do anything. That's your alternative, okay, is living a mundane life. Living like, most of society lives. Like, must do this in order to get here. I must suffer in order to get to this situation. Do you know what I mean? No, it doesn't even have to be like that, okay? When you change your mind, you change your attitude, and you start focusing on manifesting and it actually being a reality for you, then you can create any life that you want for yourself. It doesn't matter, right? If you're worried about what everybody else thinks, you won't do it. If you're worried whether you've got the skills, you won't do it. If you're worried whether it's going to be all too hard, you won't do it. So you have to make a choice. Use the spiritual checklist. Am I pulling myself in? Am I doubting myself? If so, why? Am I afraid of this? If so, why? Am I seeing life as easy or difficult? If so, why? Start breaking it all down. And when you do that, you're going to find yourself in an amazing situation. If you keep working at this and seeing it as an easy process and a natural process for yourself, you can eliminate a lot of things from your life. You can eliminate, stress. You can eliminate self-hate. You can eliminate the need for healing because you're doing it to yourself all the time. You can change your appearance. You can get younger and younger and younger. You can create energy for your cells to vibrate differently. You can create cleansing energy for your bodily organs to work differently. Reminding yourself that as you're healing, you may get things come to the surface to deal with. Doesn't mean you're being punished. Doesn't mean God hates you, It's just stuff's coming out. It's a natural part of healing. It's like we used to do it thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Things would come to the surface. We would get rid of it then, Hold power over things. Hold power over your life. Stop giving in to the demands of everybody else. Stop seeing your life circumstances as being nothing but hard work, okay, in changing all of this. And I know some of you are sitting there thinking, well, my life's different. You know, I've got a different situation going on here. It's not that simple. But it is, because nobody can take away your mental thoughts. No, there's freedom here, okay? You know, in your mind. So if you can get your mind in the right state of mind, then everything else around you, circumstances or not, change. You've got no choice but to change, because you're not in the same rhythm anymore as you were before, right? So your life lifts and goes in a different way, you know? And these are the things. These are just the little things. There's so much more to it, of course, right? These are just the little steps that you can start taking to increase your manifestation abilities. Comes from joy. You know, if you're joyful and excited, you manifest a lot easier, right? But to increase all your manifestation abilities, you've got to see it as you actually doing it already, you know, living the life that you want. See yourself in motion doing it, right? And don't let anybody pull you off that path to your own success. Go in the direction that feels good for you, you know. So many people go, well, I need to go in this direction because all of these people tell me I'm better at that. Forget that stuff. You know, my mother always said to me, you need to be a lawyer. That's what she said to me. You're just going to be a lawyer. That's you. You've got an analytical mind. You'll be a really good lawyer. I don't want to be a lawyer. Do you know what I mean? Although I really am good at legal stuff, actually, like contracts, going through affidavits, picking out, you know, legal things. Like I'm really good at doing that kind of stuff, you know. Maybe I had to, because I had to go to court with my son for so long. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But, you know, I wasn't going to do that. No, you know. And then some people said to me, just be a hairdresser, you know, just go to beauty school and I don't want to be a freaking hairdresser and stand on my feet all day. That wasn't going to be my life, you know. So I wanted to help people. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I'd been doing readings, you know, since I was 15 or something. And my kids will tell you, you know, that I'd say, okay, you know, such and such is coming over to babysit you. I've got my little bag on my shoulder. I'm like, I've got to do like 5 little readings for these people. There's a group of 5 people. You know, if I go and I'd make like $50-$60 or something, and we go and have a big dinner, you know. To us, that was like, oh my God, we got $50. It's awesome. You know what I mean? Especially when you're just on like this little wage kind of thing. So, you know, I used to go and do that. And I didn't like doing, it's funny because I wanted people to do readings for me. I knew I was good at doing readings for other people, but I didn't necessarily like it. What I do like doing is teaching people. So I can teach you how to do readings. I can teach you how to do proper healing, you know. I can teach you the different dimensional aspects towards anything, like healing, spirituality, whatever. I can teach you about other planets. I can teach you what's there and their type of healing, you know. I can teach stuff, and I love to do that. And that's why I make these videos. So your life purpose, for example, is very broad. It's never just one thing that you think, okay, this is the one thing I'm going to do that's going to make me the most money. It ends up becoming a big thing that brings you happiness. So my artwork, you know, my creative side, my writing, you know, the teaching side of things, working with people with healing, solving problems, you know, going, okay, this is going on with you, awesome, that's easy. And I say that to almost all of my clients, and they're like, this is something I've had for like 50 years. What are you talking about? It's going to be easy? And I'm like, yeah, hasn't anyone ever told you can actually get through this? You know? You've gone to the doctor and he's giving you these pills and suppressed it. Like, is he giving you a way out of it? No? Well, that's what I'm going to do. Here's the way out. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to work on this kind of thing. People are just like, oh my God, never had that kind of, you know, answer before from anywhere else, you know. But I know that anything, absolutely anything can change. Anything can lift. And you may not always be rolling in it or whatever it is. If that's important to you, having money, etc. I mean, we all need that at the moment, you know. But doing what you're doing is going to bring that success anyway. Doing what you love to do, it brings it all in anyway. And if you don't think about money as a hard thing to get and you think of it as easy, then that starts flowing as well, like simple, okay? So if your life is not simple, and you have all these things going on for you at the moment, and it seems impossible, try these little steps, pulling yourself back in, doing your visualization, focusing on having, not lack, focusing on something being easy, not difficult. Focus on the different emotions that you're having, that are coming up to the surface all the time. Focus on those emotions and, why that they are there. Focus on self-healing. Focus on being able to do things, not being able to do it. Focus on yourself as being the best healer, the most amazing healer, the most amazing reader, the most amazing counselor, the most amazing teacher, whatever it is, that you're completely confident in your line, because you're walking with yourself all the time anyway. You can give yourself a kick up the butt anytime you like, but, you've got to keep on moving forward, right? Because you're the one that's been there the whole time. So don't rely on all these other people to get you there. Don't rely on their admiration. And don't rely on everyone to say you're doing an amazing job all the time, because you won't get it. But if you feel integrity, your integrity is there and your heart is in the right spot, and that you're doing what you love, you will always be amazing. Like, no matter what. On any scale, you're always going to be amazing. And each and every one of you are. And you all have something unique to share. And it's time that we start harnessing on these things. Lifting up, up, up. Not staying down in the mundane and the hard work and the hard slog and everything's difficult to move forward. We're up here where everything's simple and easy and moving fast, and things are creating and things are changing, and we're growing and we're lifting and we're fixing ourselves and we're healing and we're helping others, and it's all going, right? And you can still have fun and listen to music and go to parties and, have an exciting life if that's what you like to do. Travel to some place and sit on, the top of the hill somewhere and, have all this music around you or something, or whatever it is that you dream for. Why not? You can still have all those things as long as you're not hurting anybody. You're not doing anything wrong, right? Just as you elevate, you start naturally being in a state of confidence in yourself and happiness in yourself, and you don't need alcohol or you don't need anything to get you there. You're just like always there, because you live there, and it's awesome. So I wanted to share the checklist with you guys. I guess it's pretty long, but I really hope that it helps. Like, even if it helps one person to start to change their life around, it's awesome, because that has a ripple effect. That one person shows someone else and someone else and someone else. That's all you need, is one light to shine in the darkness and the whole room's lit up, right? So that's awesome. So I hope that it helps just one person even. And I'm really grateful to you guys for listening. If you feel this is going to help someone as well, please share the video. And until the next time, lots and lots of love, many, many blessings, and be gentle with yourself. Okay, take it easy, one step at a time, one day at a time, and everything will start to fall into place. Lots of love and many blessings. Bye for now.